Hello to you, I'm Jessie R. Johnson. This is how to transport or move 1,000 to 5,000 tons single blocks using only 1 to 5 men and very simple mechanics. Please share this video and subscribe. To transport or move 1,000 to 5,000 tons single blocks is not difficult. The methods to do so are conceptually simple mechanics. As of today's engineering level, an approximate maximum of 10 million tons single blocks can be transported. Here are 5 methods that can be used to transport 500 tons to 500 tons to 10 million tons single blocks. Number 1, the pivot step tilt turn method can transport from 1,000 tons to 10,000 tons and uses 1 to 20 men. Number 2, the rollover method can transport 10 tons to 100 tons, uses 1 to 2 men. Number 3, the ratchet roll precise teetering method can transport 10 tons to 500 tons using 1 to 2 men. Number 4, the rollerball jack push method can transport 100 tons to 10 million tons using 1 to 500 men, depending on how much weight you're going to transport. Number 5, the turnstile pull method can transport 10 tons to 1,000 tons or more using 1 to 10 methods. Let's begin. The method that will be shown here is the tilt turn pivot step form of number 1, using 2 pivots. You do this by tilting the block, one end up, the other end down. One pivot firmly on the ground, the other pivot off the ground. You turn the end that's down tilted 180 degrees. Since the pivots are 2 to 10 feet apart, you have stepped the block 2 to 10 feet forward. It's just that simple. Now, to give you an example, an illustrated example of this, hold on please for a few seconds. Now let's begin. How to move or transport 1,000 to 5,000 tons single blocks using the pivot and step method with 1 to 5 men only, using very simple mechanics. Very simple mechanics. To continue. This rectangular shape right here, the large rectangular shape, represents the 1,000 to 5,000 ton block. Here is the pivot right here. Is in dotted lines, the pivot right here, the pivot, and the middle of the block is here. The metal parabolic plate is inside of the block, and the pivot top center point is at the bottom, at the center point of the bottom of the plate. That makes it move smoothly. Now, the metal parabolic plate is here. And the jacket arm cables here, this is the jacket arm cables. They hold up the arm. They hold up this arm. They hold up the arm itself. And here's the tilt cables. The tilt cables are pulled down to tilt the cable, to tilt one end down while the other end is tilted up. And you pull down that cable. Both ends have cables. And this here, right here, is the pivot jacket cable attached, because the jacket is around the pivot and is held up by this cable, along with these cables, the jacket arm cables. Here's the ground, the very ground itself, and the pivots themselves are 2 to 10 feet apart. So therefore, whenever you step this thing, you step it 2 to 10 feet forward. Now, we'll go to, this was illustration A, a side view of it. This is a side view. This here is a bottom view of this block. This is illustration B. This is 1,000 to 5,000 ton block, this rectangular shape right here. And this is the middle of the block this way, middle of the block that way, and at where the two lines meet is the block center. And the metal parabolic plates are here and here. This is a bottom view once again. Now we'll go to illustration C and D. Illustration C here is a top view of the arm, the gigantic arm, and the other parts. Now, let's see. Now here's the top of the pivot. Here's the center at the top of the pivot. This is the pivot itself. This ring, this inner circle right here is the pivot. Now the pivot jacket cable attach is right here, as you remember. This is the pivot jacket cable attach right here. It holds up the jacket of the pivot. Holds up the jacket that goes around the pivot itself. It holds that up. Attached to the block and attached to the jacket. Attached to the jacket. Now, the jacket goes around the pivot. There's the pivot. Goes around the pivot. And it is held together right here by these gigantic screws where they latch together. And also the arm is right here. Right here. This is the arm. And here's the arm. And the jacket arm cables. As you remember, the jacket arm cables. The jacket arm cables are these. These are the jacket arm cables. Jacket arm cables. The jacket arm cables. Right here. Right here, they hold the arm up to the block, to the bottom of the block, and here's the jacket going around the pivot, and also the arm, and so on. At the end of the arm is the bar hand. This bar hand is shaped like this. Bar hand like this, and here's the winch cable bar. The winch cable bar, it wraps. It wraps the tilt cables around it. Here it is right here. It's not named, but this is it. This is the cable tilt cables. It wraps the cable around it when you turn it. Now to continue, here is the winch cable bar. And here's the winch cable gear. Right at the end of the gears, right at the end of this bar, the winch bar is a gear, and that gear is turned, and that bar is turned, and that tightens the cables, the tilt cables, and makes that and pulls one end of the gigantic block down. Now we'll go to illustration D. Illustration D, you see this solid line, solidly drawn lines right here? That's the pivot itself, And here's the ground. This is the ground that is setting on. Right here, the dotted lines right here. The dotted lines is the jacket, the pivot jacket. And the pivot jacket has a certain shape to it. This outer jacket holding groove holds the pivot jacket in place, and here's the outer jacket holding groove right here. This part like that looks like that, and here's the inner jacket holding groove right up in here. That's the inner jacket holding groove, and the pivot jacket cable attach. That's right here again. Pivot jacket cable attach. And these screws right here is these screws right up at the end right there that holds the jacket into place. And the jacket itself is probably 2 inches to 12 inches off the ground. This is a side view. And this is illustration D. Now the pivot center, the top pivot center, that little dot right here, it touches the metal parabolic plate at its center, right up in here. Touch it, don't they touch the whole weight of the 1,000 to 1,000 to 5,000 ton block rests on one point, that one single point, one on top of the other, that one single point, one point on top of the other. Now we'll go to illustration E. Now this is what happens when you tilt this gigantic block. This is a 1,000 ton to 5,000 ton block. It's tilted. One end is up, the other end is tilted downward. This is tilt direction right here. And this apparatus right here, which will be explained, this apparatus right here, turns that gear, this gear right here, that gear right there turns that gear turns that gear, and that gear turns this gear. It turns what's called the winch cable bar gear. It turns that gear and pulls that tilt cable down all the way around it, wrap it around it, and so on. And as it does so, this is the tilt cable holder right here at the end. Each end is identical. Each end is identical. And tilt cable holder holds that tilt cable right there. And this here plate is the firm plate. Now I'll show you later on with that firm plate. That firm plate is it's one step at a time. Firm plates, and this is the frame right here. The frame holds the turn lever holder. The turn lever holder. Here's a pin. The pin holds the turn lever inside the turn lever holder. And here's the bar that when you turn this turn lever holder, you turn that bar. And when you turn that bar, it turns that gear, which turns that gear, which turns that gear, which pulls this thing down via the tilt cable. Now right here's the pivot. See that's the pivot. Right here, the pivot on the ground is sitting on the ground, pivot, and here's the pivot jacket around that pivot. The pivot jacket around it, and the bar hand right here, bar hand, and so forth. And once you tilt this gigantic block, this one comes off because it's held in place by the pivot jacket holding cable. The pivot jacket holding cable right here. Pivot jacket holding cable picks this whole jacket as well as the pivot up, and all of the other cables, the other three cables picks the arm itself up, and the pivot when this end is tilted up and that end is tilted down, or vice versa, that one is tilted down and that one is tilted up, like a seesaw. It becomes 2 inches, maybe 12 inches off the ground. So therefore, you can turn this whole block on top of those 2 points, the point at the top of the pivot and the point at the bottom of the plate, of the parabolic plate. And here's the ground right here. Here's the ground. So it's setting on the ground. And this is a side view, and this is illustration E. Now hold on. You see this part right here, this back part right here, this part right here, this part right here. That part is here in illustration F. Illustration F is the bar gear. This is the bar gear. The bar gear is right. The bar gear is right there. The bar gear right there. And this one here and this one here is the gear train. The gear train. This one here and this one here is the gear train. And here's the winch bar. Here's the winch cable bar gear. The winch cable bar gear is right here. And right here at the end right there. Winch cable bar gear. And here's the tilt cable. The tilt cable that's wrapped around the bar gear, the winch bar, cable bar, wraps around it, pulls it straight down. Pull one end of the weight, the mass, the 1,000 ton down. Here's the tilt cable holder right at the end of the 1,000 to 5,000 ton block. Here's the bar itself. The bar itself turns turns the bar gear. The bar gear turns this gear, which turns that gear, which turns that gear. And this is a side view. Now we'll go to this one. This here is a top view, right at the bottom. A top view of the turn lever holder. Here's the turn lever holder right here. The turn lever holder right here, and here's the 180 degree turn lever and the bar turner at the same time. This lever turns the bar, and when you take the jack push-pull, you can push it over. When you push it over, or pull it this way, or pull it that way, push it this way or pull it this way. You then put this firm plate straight down into these slots, plate slots. Here's the pin right here. The pin. You take the pin out. Here's the pin that holds this gear in place inside of the turn lever holder. And here's a slot right on top right here. This slot. There's a slot that lets the top of the bar slot. This is the bar, but this is the tip top of it. The tip top of it is here, and it sticks out right here, right here. Here's the frame. This is the frame. This is the jack push pull. This is the 1,000 to 5,000 turn block right here. This is the top of the bar itself, like right here, the top of the bar itself, and this is the bar slot. The bar is inside of a little inside this slot, and here's the turn lever holder. Here's the plate slot. Here's the pin, and so forth. Now we go over to illustration H. Is a side view, and right here the 1,000 to 5,000 turn block. Here's the plate slot. The plate slot. That plate goes inside here on both sides of the turn lever holder. So that way, when you're ready, when that plate is not there, that turn lever holder can go all the way around. But when that plate is in place and through those slots, all the way through those slots, all the way down up in here, that turn lever holder can't move at all. It can't go from side to side at all. So here's the plate slot. Here's the turn lever holder. Here's the turn lever holder. Here's the 180-degree turn lever and bar turner. And here's the bar. That bar right here. Here's the bar. Here's the bar top. Here's the pin that goes into the 180-degree turn level and holds it inside of the turn lever holder, so it won't slip out. This here, right here, looks like here is the frame. That frame holds the turn lever holder. Now, well, either way, let's keep on going. Let's see now. Here's the front view of illustration I and J. Now, this is a front view of the block. This is 1,000 to 5,000 ton block. This is a front or back view. Either one, they're identical. Now, this is the tilt cable holder. Here's the tilt cable holder. That's this right here. See right there? Tilt cable holder right here. Now, the tilt cable holder holds the tilt cables. Those are all the tilt cables. These are the tilt cable. That angled cable right here, that angled cable, that's the tilt cables right at both ends. Tilt cables. And there's nothing, a lot of tilt cables straight across. There's about 18 or 19 of them right here, and so forth. Straight across. Tilt cables. And here's the winch cable bar. Those cables wrap around that bar. When you turn this winch cable bar gear, when you turn that gear, that gear makes those cables wrap around it, around the tilt cable bar. The tilt cables wrap around the winch bar, the cable bar. And how you do that is that you turn this winch cable bar gear by turning the bar gear, which means you turn the bar, which means you turn the turn lever, which is inside of the turn lever holder. And here is the frame. This little thing here is the frame. And right on the side of it is the jack push pull. And these are the two firm plates. When those two firm plates go down inside that slot right here, on either side, that turn lever holder cannot move any longer. Can't go from side to side. When those plates are up here, like up here, that turn lever holder can go from side to side like that. But when those plates up in here, down up in there, it can't turn. It can't go. It can't move. Now, let's go to illustration J. This is a side view of illustration J. This is very small. You might have to look closer. Here are the pivots. Here's two pivots under the gigantic block. This is a 1,000 to 5,000 ton block. Here's the frame. You remember that frame right here, the frame? Here's the frame that holds the turn lever holder. The frame. Now here's 30. This block is 60 feet long. Therefore, half of it is 30 feet long. And here's the frame. And the frame. And here's the frame holder. And here is the 180-degree turn lever and bar turner. That when you get ready to when you got the block all the way tilted, one end down, the other end completely up. When you got it tilted and in place, then you put the firm plates into place, right up in here, right up in there, and that turn lever holder can't move at all. And now you can turn the whole block. You can turn the whole block with this long 180-degree turn lever and bar turner a lever. It's 180 feet long. 180 feet long. This is 30 feet, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180 feet long. It can be longer if you need to. This is the ground. This is the ground. The ground everything is sitting on, and the 180-degree turn lever and bar turner is 4 to 6 feet off the ground. So you can take a one person or two person can go right here at the tip end, and push this lever all the way around, which is what this is. Now, this is the top view. Here's the 1,000 to 5,000 turn block. This end here is tilted down. It's tilted down, just like before. This end here is tilted up. That end is tilted down. This is the turn lever holder. Here's the turn lever, 180-degree turn lever and bar turner. In one. Here's 0 degrees at this tip end. You turn it. You turn the 180-degree turn lever. You turn it all the way around like this, wide as can be, and you turn that 1,000, 5,000 ton block all the way 180 degrees. Now now it's tilted downward at this place. Now you make it go down. You tilt it downward. Now at this once you get it 180 degrees, then you take the 180-degree turn lever out of the turn lever holder. You take it out and you bring it over to, let's see, you bring it over to this side. No, you bring it over to that side. You keep it on that side. Let's see, you turn it over. Yeah, then you take it out of this side. This side, it would be on this side. Then you take it out and put it back on that side again. Because each time you turn it, that lever comes all the way over here. Now you got to take it out from here and put it back over here each time, because that end is going to be tilted down. And you keep on stepping it. Step, 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 until it goes miles down the road with it. Now, I want to thank everybody for listening. Please share this video and subscribe. And please have a very good day. This is